非常感谢各位家长哈，还有我们 AFI 的这个忠实观众，在星期六的晚上如约的还是进入我们的直播间。我们今天的讲座呢是由 AFI 的华二代的组织 YEFA 所举办的。YEFA 的全称呢是 Youth Entrepreneurship and Finance Association，中文名呢是青少年创新创业金融协会。YEFA 呢，相当于是我们 AFI 的这个华二代的版本哈，由非常优秀的这个华二代的学生的话呢，他们是自己组织和运营的。YEFA 我们是专注于培养华二代的创业及创新能力，还有领导力，以及进行这个金融及投资知识的一个普及。大家知道我们之前的这个思汇学院哈，是专注于这一个青少年的金融和投资课程的。同时呢，我们也是带出了沃顿的这个全球青少年投资比赛的一个全球冠军，包括斩获了多个这个 Diamond Challenge 和 DECA 的这一个冠军，以及Top 10、Top 50的这个奖项。所以呢，非常多的这个思汇的学员呢，之后呢，他也是加入到了我们的YEFA，成为了我们这个YEFA的成员。如果您对这个YEFA的组织感兴趣的话呢，可以一会儿扫我们的二维码，加入我们的这个YEFA的微信群，我们会在微信群里进一步的发出详细的信息，以及就是说您的孩子可以享受什么样的一个 opportunity。截止目前呢，YEFA我们自己呢是举办了2届的这个全球范围的贯彻可持续发展以及 ESG 这个投资理念的青少年的投资比赛，以及这个艺术作品的比赛哈。目前呢，我们是在全球的超过80个学校有建立了我们的 chapters。此外呢，大家现在在屏幕上看到的哈，是我们YEFA的一系列的这一个在线的讲座，基本上都是用英文来进行的。首先呢，我们会邀请来自各行各业的这个专业人士哈，来介绍他们的行业的这个内幕，以及他们自己的这一个求学及求职的这个路径。目的呢是为了帮助我们的华二代更好的选择他们大学的专业，以及他们未来的这个职业道路。包括我们看到哈，我们有邀请到了 Raymond 黄，他呢是微软的现在的这一个合伙人架构师。然后呢，还要包括我们邀请到的 Charlie Chan。Charlie Chan 的话呢，如果你去搜他的 YouTube，你可以看到他现在应该是一个百万级别的一个网红哈。他的话呢，现在目前应该是我觉得属于财富自由了，通过这样的一个 social media 的这么一个运作哈，所以他走的这个创业的路径呢，也是非常的不一样的。此外呢，我们还曾邀请过 Hilbert Chan。Hilbert 的话呢，他目前呢是在杜克大学读博士，他呢是一个数据科学以及这个经济学家。此外呢，我们还会邀请我们的这一个YEFA的非常优秀的成员哈。大家在看到的这个莉莉彭呢，现在已经是在普林斯顿就读了，还有包括我们的 Kevin 金、Sam 曹，他们都是我们非常优秀的华二代的这一个我们的这个学生哈。他们来分享他们在各自领域里面的这一个专长，以及他们各自的这个公益项目。所以呢，说到这个YEFA的很优秀的成员哈，我就要引出我们今天的这一个嘉宾了哈，那个 speaker Amber 董。Amber 董呢是前一届的这个YEFA的 Head of Finance Department 的这个 Head 哈。此外的话呢，他其实是在小红书上一个非常知名的一个专门做很多关于介绍美高的内容的小网红。目前的话呢，Amber 在包括哔哩哔哩还有小红书在内的多个社交平台上呢，已经是累积了接近10万个粉丝了。所以呢，我个人在私下和 Amber 董交流的特别多哈，因为我自己也是做这个 marketing 和做这个社交媒体的推广的，所以很多时候我是希望是能向 Amber 去学习，他是怎么去运营那么成功的一个 social media 的。好的，我现在的话就把时间呢交给 Amber 呢会用英文来进行这场讲座。此后呢，在讲座结束之后呢，我们会留一点点时间来进行一个 Q&A。好的，现在我就把这个时间交给 Amber。
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Amber. Let me screen share. Okay.
大家可以看到吧？可以看到这个，大家如果可以看得到，扣一下一，发一下一，在这个 chat box 里面，可以看到现在的 slides 吗？ 大家好像没有动静，可以看到是吧？可以看到的话，那我们就开始。OK，没问题。
Okay, so today I'm going to talk about like my experience working with social media and hopefully teach you how to become internet famous without a talent. And because today is just like one seminar, I'm probably only going to talk about making video like specifically. So unfortunately we won't be going over like Instagram or like taking photos or other like marketing strategies if you're interested. Sorry, but hopefully this is still like you can still learn a lot from today. Okay, a little bit about me. Just like Allison said, I am a sign influencer on Red, Bilibili, and Instagram. So I basically I'm like related to like an agency company for MCM. And then I've also had experience working with YouTube and TikTok and have a combined followers of like 80,000 plus. I was former marketing head of Interverse Education. That was like a nonprofit for languages. And I'm also the manager for my school's Red social media account or like 小红书. I'm also a published research paper. I also published research paper regarding social media click rates, like how there's like clickbaits and covers and how that influence people's decision on clicking into videos. Okay, so table of contents. This is like the order that we're going over today. Yeah. So first I want to talk about like knowing yourself because I feel like I've heard a lot of suggestions about like you should follow trends when you try to like start your own social media account, like following whatever like the trending hashtags or whatever everyone's doing. And I definitely think there's a pro to that because for a lot of platforms, the algorithm even rewards you for like tagging like a very popular trending tag. So like I can definitely see the pro, but I think the con is that it's not a sustainable thing to follow, especially because if you're following trends, like for example, if there's a TikTok dance that's really popular and you make yourself do it, you're kind of doing something that isn't natural to you. And therefore, it's not only not sustainable, it's also like something that isn't isn't like you're probably not good at. So that's why I feel like following trends isn't the best way to build your own channel. And my suggestion would be doing things that come to you naturally. And for example, if you have watched Emma Chamberlain's vlogs, she's a very famous YouTube vlogger. There isn't that many like editing or like a significant amount of just like technology or narrative. There's not even like a story or like a plot like compared to Mr. Beast videos, but she's still like gain a lot of followers and views. I think that's because she was doing what she's good at and what came to her naturally, which is just like talking. Like it doesn't have to be something that's really challenging or really specific. Like that's what I'm saying about like you don't need to have a talent. You can just be like doing the stuff that came natural to you. Like for example, if you are like a yapper in real life, you can just yap like on your channel. Just do the things that came to you naturally, and that's what you will be good at as well. And that even doesn't have to be that unique, but you need to keep like be aware that it should be something that's like sustainable to you because you need to stick to it for a very long time. By sticking to it, I mean like it's very tempting to post other stuff. Like for example, you feel like you have other talents. Like you're not only good at baking, you're also good at art, you're also good at like rock climbing. And that's actually something that I feel like could hurt your channel if you are going to start like a channel about baking because like it will make the concept of your channel more blurry and people won't really people because if people came to watch you like watch you bake like they wouldn't really be interested in you like doing art or doing rock climbing. Like you would think so, but it just probably wouldn't work. Yeah. So, and then another suggestion I have is to know your goals when you try to build your channel. Um, like if you want publicity, quality of followers, or viewing time, there's like different strategies and approaches to achieve your goals. Like if you want quality followers, then you would have to sacrifice other things, and your just like your overall strategies would be different. Okay, hopefully that made sense. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about short videos. Short videos, usually, like when talking about short videos, it's like videos under 60 seconds. And so like for me, like I think 50% of the followers, or like the stats that I learned from working with my agency company, what they told me was that 50% of your viewers leave in the first 10 seconds of your video. So you need to like try to capture their attention in like the first 10 seconds, or like even less. There's like different statistics around that, but basically just like short videos is like the product of people being impatient. So you need to try to catch their attention at the really beginning. And that's also similar to like the 7-second rule. The 7-second rule is like to capture people's like attention in the first 7 seconds. And to do that, I would suggest to not introduce yourself unless you absolutely need it. By introducing yourself, this also includes like giving credentials, like talking about your backgrounds in this field, or even like I've seen a lot of people trying to like create like animations for their brand, like a little short video before they start, like yeah, like just like animation. Like, and I think that's honestly a little unnecessary because people will just like scroll, like they don't like you have to like you have to just like assume that people aren't interested and you're trying to attract them instead of the other way around. And then there's also long videos, which is like usually YouTube, Bilibili. And compared to short videos, it allows you to have deeper connections with your viewers. So that's like the pro is like you get follower of quality through like longer videos usually. But then what makes it harder is to start on it because a lot of you would see like a lot of celebrities like Hailey Bieber like having YouTube accounts, but people watch that because they're already interested in what they're doing. Like they already know these celebrities, that's why they would be interested, but they don't know you. So like to build your account like and make people like willing to watch like 10 minutes of you doing something, like your content and your topic should be like there's more pressure to your like content selection. Um and even that like your content shouldn't it should still be like concentrated. Um and by that I mean like don't include stuff that doesn't add to your style unless your channel's like educative or informative. Um yeah, like just because you need to have the mindset that like people can leave like any second or any moment that you feel like that, yeah, just like assume that they aren't interested. Yeah, okay, so there's more pressure to topic selection and also try to interact with your viewers because of like how like long the like how longer you need to like attract them for. Um and effective versus ineffective interaction. I feel like ineffective interaction would be like a lot of YouTubers will just be like, make sure you like and follow by the end of their channel. And okay, that's definitely like a good thing to do because liking and following is good for your statistics and will make the algorithm push your videos more. But then I feel like just like make sure you like and follow. Like this is being said so much that it doesn't even have a meaning anymore. Like people has heard it so much that like you would just like immediately ignore it. So I think like a more interactive way of approaching to that would be try to weave it into your narrative, even if it's like really badly done, like maybe people would even like find it funny because how badly it was like weaved into your thing, like how unnatural it is. For example, you can, if you were giving an example about like someone making a mistake, you can be like, oh, this person made this mistake because they didn't watch my channel. Like something like that will make people more willing to like and follow you because it's more creative and like just it's like less possibility that they will like ignore what you just said. Okay. And then there is titles and covers, which both like short videos and long videos have. And that also ties to like the research I did, which was about like clickbait and covers. So I think there is a spectrum on making titles on and how like exaggerated there are. So like pure clickbait, this kind of titles, it usually does pretty well in attracting viewers. However, like when they found out that the content isn't what you titled it to be, they will feel betrayed and like long-term wise, your channel could be hurt because people just wouldn't be willing to click into your channel after being like lied to like once. So if your goal is like short-term views, then clickbait might be a more like a viable option for you. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there is just like purely like simply naming your title as like whatever you're going to be showing. And I think that usually works well for videos that are very direct. Like for example, like how to fix your toilet. Like the how-tos should be really simple and direct because you are not trying to like add any like personal or like branding stuff. You're just being very direct. And then I find most titles like falling in between somewhere in this spectrum. So like a certain amount of clickbait or like certain amount of like exaggeration do help with your stats a little bit. You just have to be aware of like how much you want to clickbait it. Because usually like if you name it some like more accurate of like your content, people would like to stay longer, but then the clicking rate goes down. So you just need to find like a good balance. And then okay, covers. I think that there's like basically two main versions of covers. Like there's either like Mr. Beast, like a very simple one, or like a very informative one, where each like put if you like dissect like this cover into like grids, like this, well just like this has more information than this, if you look at it that way. Um so usually information attracts viewers, but then they also need to digest it. Like that was what I found in my research. Um like so you need to you need to give your viewers like a visual hierarchy for them to digest whatever you showed. Um so like sometimes like it's good to be like simplistic, but then if you're not Mr. Beast, like they don't know what you're showing. So like they wouldn't like people wouldn't really be attracted to this. Like versus like this thumbnail. Like people would be more attracted to it, but then if you overcrowd a cover with words, then people will also be like, that is like a lot of information to read. Like will I even consider like reading the whole thing? So yeah, I think making cover, you should like focus on your visual hierarchy. Like there should be like a main thing and then there should be like a less important thing. Okay. And then like this is probably like all that probably like could not like maybe they didn't feel helpful in like creating video or creating content. Like that could just feel like background information. And then if you feel that way, then I feel like this would be a more um like something that you're more looking forward to, like a more direct strategy on improving your stats. Okay, so like what I learned from my agency company and my experience working with like my own social media accounts is that you should create contrast because contrast is what like it attracts people like through curiosity. And there's like 4 different types of contrasts. So identity contrast is breaking people's expectation of certain roles. For example, if there is like a if it's like a teenager making slimes, people will be like, oh, like that's something that's like natural, like that would be their expectation. But if it's like a grandpa making slimes, then they will be like, that is so interesting. Like I've never heard of that. And that would like make people more willing to click into your account. Information contrast is showing people their common knowledge is wrong. Um, like again, like if I go to like a high school and like if I go to an international school in the United States, people will most likely assume this is like natural because or like no, actually that was a bad example. Like if I go to an international school in Shanghai, like people would think that's natural because there's just so many international national schools in Shanghai. But then if I say like I go to like an international school in Mongolia or like Yemen, like people would be like, I've never heard of that. Like I didn't know that. And that would attract them to find out more about your account. Characteristic contrast is like when your character doesn't match like the stuff you're doing. Like for example, if your appearance is very like sweet and girly and like you wear bow ties and stuff, and then your account is about like working out and lifting weights in the gym, that would also create a contrast. And lastly, environment contrast is when the stuff you're doing is like what you're not supposed to do in this environment. Like I've seen so many videos about people cooking in their dorms, like literally like just like having a pot like on the bed and cooking, like cooking steak or whatever. And that really interests me because I feel like like well people naturally wouldn't expect you to do that in the dorms. So that like all those contrasts makes people more curious of what you're doing and more likely to click into your account. Okay, and then here are some other tips that I feel like a lot of beginners make this kind of mistakes. First of all, it's like audio. I feel like a lot of like beginning YouTubers or like vloggers, like their volume is always like so low. Like I always have to like increase my volume to like hear what's happening or what they're saying. So like just like think about what volume you put your phone at when you like scroll on social media apps. Like that should be like the volume that your video can be heard. And then okay, content over editing. I think unless your content is just about editing, like your editing should take less importance in your video. Like background music, special effects, transitions, like they should be added if they needed to be, like they need to be there. Instead of like you want to like I think there's a misconception that like if you the more you add, the more you gain. But for viewers like experience, it's usually not like that. Like overcrowding your video with like special effects probably will make your viewers more distracted and their viewer experience to be not great. And then also like don't get too anxious about like being led by trends or like like for example like a content creator who's like similar to you or like does the same like category of stuff as you and they blew up through one thing. Like don't be like easily influenced that and be like, oh, like this worked, I'm going to do that. Try to like stick to your style more because you like yeah, like again, like algorithm can be really weird and like just like you never know. Like I think switching your style too often, just like when I was saying like about like making your channel like posting random stuff on your channel, like it makes your channel like less identifiable and like viewers will probably be like, I don't know why I followed this account or I'm not interested. So try to like remain your own style. While it is a good thing to like learn from others, I think you need to give it more tries before you decide that you want to switch to or like copy other people's style because and yeah, and also like many like famous YouTubers or vloggers like didn't succeed because they copied other people or like combined everything, all the like good parts about like other vloggers. They kind of created something of their own. So I think having something that's like unique to you will always make you more attractive. And then lastly, keep posting. I honestly think algorithm can be really weird. Like the same video being posted at like different times or like being posted twice, like they can have completely different statistics, like completely different amount of likes or amount of like views. So just keep posting, like don't be beaten up by like one video not succeeding. Um, as a content creator, I feel like I get upset a lot of times when my videos don't perform that well. But then after like having my agency company and like having someone like professionals like talking to me about it, I realized like that's almost like a very common thing. Like your videos just won't always blow up, and that's just like you shouldn't expect it to always work. Um, but you should just keep trying. Like if you keep trying, almost like definitely one of your video will blow up by some reason. So yeah, keep trying. Okay, yeah, that was all. Thank you guys so much for listening to me yapping.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Amber, so much for such an insightful webinars because I think it's a lot of dry stuff. I know it's
Mhm,
like you might be a little feel a little bit nervous, but that's a very
mhm,
informative
mhm.
webinars。所以有观众在问可不可以讲中文，我们 Q&A 的时候也可以讲一些中文哈，然后可以中文、英文就是夹杂着来。那个大家如果有问题的话呢，可以放在 chat box 里面。然后呢，可能会有人举手。这位观众举手的，您是想要直接开麦吗？我看能不能 allow you to talk。嗯，刘
刘
宇，
宇，
对，
对，你能听见我吗？
可以听见。
Mhm.
对，哦，对，您好，我是想问一个问题呢，是这样子的，就是我的儿子他有一个就是很小的 YouTube channel，然后他就贴一些就是杂七杂八的一些很搞笑的视频，好比说是这个蹦蹦跳跳啊，摔一跤啊，然后他
嗯
可能好像也贴了两个就是有关于这个民主党的视频，就是好像有一点点就是开玩笑的那种。后来就是大概贴了几十个这种小短视频之后呢，突然有一天他的 channel 就被 YouTube 给 ban 了，就是I can do you prefer me to say English or Chinese? Is English better?
中文也可以啊，中文也可以。
对，就是他这个 channel 就被停了，然后关
嗯
键的是我们并不知道他哪个 video 导致了这个问题，所以呢，我帮他写一封邮件去 YouTube 那里去问说，请你告诉我，他那上面写的原因是 spam，但是我们又不知道到底是哪个 video 有问题，我们就只能是自己在那里反复审查，说你到底哪个 video 有没有说错什么话等等，但是关键他现在好几天了也没有给回复，就是这种情况下一般怎么办呢？还是就
我觉
只能这么等着？
我觉得一般就是被封的话，我要解封，我觉得是比较困难的，就是 like from what I've heard，那你就是重新搞一个这样子的账号，对你来说很难吗？
也不难，关键是因为我们并不太清楚，就是因为第一次吧，他也发了
嗯
几十个小视频，就是不知道错在哪儿。就是因为这样，老师说你这个卷子不及格，给你打了个叉，但你并不知道哪道题错了。我可以再重
嗯
新开始，完全没问题。但是重新开始呢，就不知道会什么时候又会被封掉。
这个问题我可以回答他，因为我之前我背景是那个就是新闻的，
嗯
有可能是这样的，因为他有贴一些民主党的东西，有可能
嗯，
在现在这个是不是最近贴的，可能是在大
对，
选之前会有一些引导性的一些可能哈，就是social media 它会 ban 一些觉得
嗯。
有引导性的内容。 那
？OK，
可能对，就是说那可能也就是说是我觉得应该是民主党的这一块的，就是他的政治内容引起了他的这个就是把他给封了。对，然后第二个的就是说，因为儿子他想做这个视频，就是像其实刚刚像那个 Amber 说的，因为 Amber 他的小红书他是专门讲美高的生活的，所以就是说其实他做 social media 是有一定的意图，就是我们说的他的这个内容是比较集中的，是在某一个 category 里面系统性的做这个内容。那也就是说，那儿子他做这个 social media 这个 YouTube channel，他最后想把这个 channel 做成一个什么样子？对，所以这个可能也可以，如果它只是一个 random 的，就是 upload 的一个 place 的话，那你就再开一个吧，
对
对吧？
对，这个估计可能对，因为如果是说，如果一般被禁了，就是不是很容易就重新让他开的话，那的确再开也可以。因为现在呢，就是我儿子他只是就是觉得有趣，就是把一些生活中一些好玩的或者傻傻的那些瞬间分享一下。这个如果其实以后呢，他可能会像 Amber 这样的再找一个方向。其实现在他也是刚开始嘛，但是还没来得及找方向，这不就已经被禁了吗？就出现了这么一个问题。
OK，我觉得可以等哈，Amber 稍微看看他的回复，但我
对。
觉得可能是因为那个政治党派的东西。
就是现在已经这么敏感了，因为我儿子，我们也
嗯
分析，但我儿子抗议说，你看别人也贴了，为什么我贴就不行？所以这个
嗯，
就并不知道他判断的标准，
可能还没封到别人吧，就是有
也
些
有可能。
人被封，有些人没被封，只是说他很多时候他可能这个不是说所有的就是内容他都会被封，而且和他的可能粉丝量什么的可能有一定的关系。如果你的粉丝量很大，他可能不一定会封你，因为他有一定的那个收益在里面。但如果你的粉丝量本身不是特别大，然后你的这个
不是很小，
对
影响那
account
个
不是那么
粉丝量
重要的话，
几十个。
他很容易封。对，
OK，那我
嗯。
理解了。要是不开的话，我们就只好再自己重新再开一个 channel 了。
对，我觉得可以。对，好的，那我往下面走哈。
谢谢。
好的，哎，那个谢谢这位那个家长，然后我往下面走。Vera Dean，the question for Amber: How did Amber learn to develop videos from the agency? Can she share the agency's name?
Um, yeah, 我之前是在理科的，like 理科传媒and well, I feel like developing videos wasn't like I feel like in the agency it was more of like the technical stuff about like for example like learning 就是 like learning what's trending like what's like a hot topic that you can like try to weave your stuff a little bit into but like I think most of it is like based on who you are like your personality and what you want to share and I think I began like making videos when I was like I think mainly in during COVID, like when I was really bored, and the stuff I would post will be really will be really silly at the beginning, but then it like one video blew up a little bit, and that brought me a lot of interest, and so I kept just like trying to gain more followers and like figuring out like what works and what doesn't. So I think you need to have like a drive or a passion for sharing first, and just like after that, it's like you figuring out like what works and what works like step by step. Mhm.
嗯
Yeah, hopefully that
OK
answers. Mhm.
OK Amber, can you type or share your 小红书 account in the chat box？
Oh,
大家
okay.
能不能去 follow 一下？我是有 follow，潜水 follow，对，呃，对，然后 OK，the next question，how you make money from YouTube or other like 哔哩哔哩like
I think
other
YouTube, yeah. So YouTube, there's like the ad, um, and then there's also like sponsorships. I think those are just like the two main ways. Um, for me, sponsorship is definitely like more important, or like more significant in my income. Usually like on like 小红书 like 广告的收益 is like 你的粉丝量乘10%，就是你每一个上单的
嗯
价格in 人民币呀。然
嗯
后就签经纪公司之后，就是经纪公司会给你接一些商单，派一些商单，然后呢，就是你要跟经纪公司 分这个东西的分成，然后对，and that's
嗯
how like 经纪公司 works basically. But was like a 经纪公司 you usually 会接更多的商单这样子。
能透露一下你现在就是 how often you have those type of endorsement or
哦，
advertising？
商单是吗？
对，
我现在其实接的不太多了，就是主要是因为我的经济压力不是特别大嘛，
嗯
就是然后呢，而且我主要是另外一个原因是我学习特别忙，所以就是我跟我经纪公司说，like 我可能这段时间就是不能做太多视频，所以我商单也接不了，so like I'm sorry that 就是
嗯
我这段时间可能就呃躺一些吧，但是
嗯
好的时候人民币的话也有几千几万这样子。
，OK
嗯哼
OK，that's good money for your 12th grade girl right？对，
，Yeah,
这个
yeah,
你想赚的，
yeah. I
嗯
think it's not bad. Like, 而且我体量我觉得也不是特别大，就是头部的肯定是会高很多。Like
嗯。
头部应该就不只是 like 乘10%这样子。啊、yeah, like 就像我这样子，大概一单就大概几千吧。
So
嗯
like, do you think actually, like maybe YouTube is better than 小红书? I mean, like if a high school student in US
嗯
they
嗯
try to start their own social media
嗯
or either make an impact for their own nonprofit organization, their project, their startup, or maybe just want to be a influencer, right? So
嗯
you would recommend YouTube or Instagram or
Mhm. Me personally, I feel like it's harder to start on YouTube because YouTube is like long videos, and again, like they have to be like really interested in you to watch that full like 10 minutes video. So
Mm,
that's why like usually it's more like celebrities who's like already famous and then they start a YouTube channel for people to learn more about them because people are already curious about their personal life. But then if people don't recognize you, you have to be more interesting, like interesting enough for them to click in, like to like know who you are to find out. Mhm.
OK, I see. OK，小红书主讲人的小
Mhm.
红书是啥？他刚刚有发哦。OK，
Amber Lulu.
因为你发给
Mhm.
了那个，你只发给了我和你，我给你重复一遍，你只发
Oh,
给
okay.
了那个 Amber Lulu，我给你打一下。对，你刚刚只发给了我和你，就是 host 的 panelist。OK，so I have another question. So
Mhm.
I mean, like how you actually like sometimes you probably will get negative feedback or somebody
Mhm.
just comment like
Mhm.
negatively, like how you deal with those stuff.
Mhm. Uh,
Is will
yeah,
really sometimes like make you sad, hurt you, or
yeah, that's a good question. I think at some point, like getting negative comment would be like a good thing. I think it's probably better than having only good comments
Mm,
because because like I think I think just only having good comments that probably means that you're playing too safe. Like I think if you are influential enough, you are going to get negative comments no matter what. And so I usually just have the mindset like haters hate. Like, but like I would like if it's like constructive criticism, I would like consider that. Um, but then if it's not, I think I actually think I don't like let that go into me that much. But again, I actually don't have a lot of negative comments, probably because I'm like not that big.
okay, so basically, like, do you collaborate with other influencers or people has like large followings than
Mhm.
you? Do you collaborate with them?
I used to be okay, that's a great question because I used to be really obsessed with like collaborating with other creators, especially like people of the same age. Like I feel like if people see us interacting with in the comment section, people would be like that will include increase like exposure for me and make people like dear followers like want to find out who I am. But then I feel like at the end of the day, like it's mainly you know, like most of the collabs I've done, they actually didn't increase my influence that much.
Okay, so I guess it's eventually come down to like how interesting you are, right? And like if the content is really attractive. Okay.
Yeah, I usually only collabed with like most of the people I collab with are like people like the same level as me. So I guess I also don't have an experience to say like collabing isn't that effective because it's possible, you know, like people who are both really famous can have like a much more bigger impact.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so somebody asked like how long it take for you to edit one video normally, like averagely? I guess I guess let me rephrase this question. You need to shoot something, right? Feel something, and then and start to edit it. So you can just give the time for both filming and editing.
Yeah, I would say usually like okay, like the more like upper you are, like the more famous you are, the more videos that you shot that are going to like be wasted. Like there's more. Like okay, like you're going to shoot a lot of stuff that you aren't even going to use, that you are going to edit out. And that's just like a trend, like the more famous you are, like you're going to do that more. And so usually I think editing takes the bulk of my time. I would say a couple hours for one vlog at least, because you have to like figure out what's the theme and what would be like something that's interesting, and like there's a lot of like thoughts into editing and planning that video, and shooting is a very small time for me.
I see, I see. 然后刚刚有家长问 YouTube 和小红书的挣钱方式一样吗？好像我们之前刚刚你有 touch upon 这个，好像不太一样，对吧？YouTube 好像是这个 traffic，然后小红书那边的话，你主要是代言，对吧？就是接商单，对，这个是那个不太一样的地方。然后小红书那边有给你就相当于按流量嘛，就是说，比方说我有多少人看过我的 video，然后他也会给你一定的钱，还是那个钱比较少？
我感觉应该是没有什么钱，就是它会有那种流量活动，就是它会 push you more，但是它不会直接给钱。哦对了，说到流量，其实头部的 MCM 就是那种达人的机构，like agency company，他们其实如果跟平台有合作的话，他们可以让你的这个视频被推的更多一点，就是反正算法是会把你不同的这个视频和它的表现会分到不同的组，然后呢，不同的组会有不同的 like 频率，就是被推出去，所以好一点的 MCM 可以把你放到就是被推的更多的组。
好的，多解释一下 YouTube 如何挣钱。YouTube 应该是按照就是有多少人观看，对吧？然后好像 YouTube 是不是有些时候也可以，比方说我接不接受我在我的视频的前面、中间放广告，放别人的广告？
对对，可以放广告，然后再火一点就是可以卖自己的东西。
但我觉得好像应该是刚刚那个Amber 解释了一下，就是说不同性质，就是你的这个人设不同，或者你想要卖的产品不同，或者是你想要传播的内容不同，你应该选择不同的 platform。也就是说，可能有些内容它其实是在小红书上更容易火起来，或者 depends on 你针对什么样的人群。然后 YouTube 的话，可能我们说，就是说看你制作的内容。如果我觉得你要是可能想要在华人的这个我们说的圈子里面，可能卖房子啊，或者是做一些保险，或者是这样的或者教育这样的内容的话，可能我觉得小红书应该是比较容易起号的。
Yeah, 起号，that's a good word.
对，OK. How to find agency or to be found? What's the criteria?
For me, yeah, that's a good question. For me, I like I think 我其实 like 还对这个 like I was really curious because before I was signed, there was like a lot of like influencer that I liked, who are like a bit bigger than me, and they're all under like the same like MCM. And so I was like, oh my God, like I really wish one day I can be signed up by that MCM. But then later on, like they both like my current one and then like another MCM, like they both like came up to me, but then like the deal they gave me was like much worse than the other one. So like I like decided to go with my current one. Okay, that would probably wasn't really answering your question. So you can also like go up to them and be like, I want to work with you guys. Like that's also one way. Um, well, in that case, like you probably will get like a worse deal. Like for example, if you do ads, you're going to have to like split like 9 versus 1, with them compared to like 5 versus 5 or 6 versus 7. I think the most popular one on like 小红书 at least is like 3 versus 7. Like seven for the company and 3 for the creator. But then if you want that boost from the agency company, you can also introduce yourself. Yeah.
How about safety and privacy for a young girl YouTube?
I actually never thought about that. I feel like I probably should have put more thought into that, but then I was like, I like I
Nobody
think I just like
stalk you?
I feel like I just like started as a very like I started my account when I was like 14, so I just really thought about that. And then when people like sometimes like people will be like, oh my God, I recognize like the trees or like this like neighborhood or like your school. Initially, I was like a little scared, but then I was like what are they going to do? Like, okay, it is okay. On the other hand, it is a little embarrassing when people in real life and are like, oh my God, I've seen your videos. Yeah, that's definitely how I feel. I feel really embarrassed when people who I like newly met like are like, oh my God, I know your videos. And then because I will be thinking like, oh my God, they watched my like 14-year-old videos that I'm so embarrassed about now. But I guess just like you just have to be used to it.
Okay, so again, your Instagram, your YouTube account.
Mhm.
Okay, so do you mind actually, type your Instagram if
Mhm.
or maybe, or if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to, right? Or YouTube account or Bilibili or yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I mainly like do Bilibili and 小红书 right now. Like YouTube, like I just I had experience with YouTube. That's why I was like talking about it, but I don't actually run my current account on YouTube because I wasn't
Yeah.
I wasn't like doing that good on YouTube. I was like,
And your Instagram is more like a personal private account,
yeah,
right?
I have an Instagram for like my sticker shop. Like that's how I gained like experience with Instagram. Mhm.
Yeah, and you also run your own like sticker business, right?
Yeah.
You're like you're very like like a young entrepreneur. And that's why you joined
Mhm.
YEFA because like you actually have two business already like going very well. And yeah, so and you can also type your Bilibili account link in the
Okay.
chat box. Yeah. And okay,
Yeah, that's my
my next question will be since you will go to college next
Mhm.
year, and I know currently like the majority of your content is about the high school, right? Like
Mhm.
high school in America. So like how you plan your future content? It will be more about the college life, or have you
Mhm.
ever thought about that?
I think like I've been trying really hard to like find a personality or find like a theme that like just like people will be like, oh my God, this person, she's known by like that, you know? And so and I want it to be like more based on like my personality instead of like where I'm at, you know? Like I feel like that would be more sustainable and also like wherever I go, like I will always be able to use that. So I'm trying to like shift to like not about like high school life, but more about like myself. I post the same videos, but wait, yeah, I post the same videos on multiple platforms, but just not at the same time. Well, that's probably because I'm like bad at like keeping track, or I just didn't think it would create that big of a difference. It
Okay.
probably will when you get like bigger, but
I mean, do you mind actually play 1 or 2 videos? Can you share the screen?
wait,
Yeah.
okay, let me actually, I don't know. Maybe you can like look up that on your own. I'm a little like embarrassed. I'm sorry.
But come on, you have a huge following now, so you
Sure.
show 1 video, or you maybe share screen, and then so I guess that could be, we could call that the end of our webinar.
Okay.
Yeah. By the
Okay.
way，所以大家有没有我看一下哈，就是说大家可以Amber 放完 video 之后呢，我会 share 一下我们的YEFA的那个微信的二维码，然后呢，您可以先加入我们YEFA的微信群，之后呢，我们第一个讲座回放我们会发到群里面，第二个的话呢，之后的YEFA的一系列的讲座还有消息的话呢，我们也会在群里面通知。所以Amber 你可以那边看想不想分享，如果不想分享的话，也就不勉强。
OK，
让大家
我看看，
看你的小红书，对，
我看能不能就是在电脑上找出来。Sorry, it's like taking a second.
刚刚 Amber 说了，那个他现在在小红书和哔哩哔哩上面比较活跃，因为他的大部分的观众的话还是针对国内的，就是讲中文的，因为你的大部分的内容可能也是有中文在里面的，对吧？所以小红书和那个哔哩哔哩的话，这个流量会比较好一些。
Okay, I'm honestly so embarrassed, but it's fine. Okay. We're going to swim after school with my friends.
First time. She's excited. I'm scared. She's really excited. This is Stella. She's like really good at swimming. She's professional at swimming. Annie, we're drowned. We're gonna drown.
Hi, it's Annie. You know, Coach Stella gave us workouts to do, and at the beginning, I actually tried to keep up with them. But me and Annie are really silly. We got distracted by the noodle and started to play with them. We also played a few more games, and here's Annie diving to pick up the goggle. That clip was kind of cool, so I wanted to show you guys. Silly Miss Annie also said she wanted to dive, and let's see how good she is.
Come on.
That was pretty slick. And then we went for a few more laps. Look at how fast Stella is. And then we went out.
I just changed. My Spanish is really not dry. And so I had to fire, then I text. How do we feel? It was good, but I'm mad because neither of you watched my beautiful dive. We feel about swimming. It was not the workout I wanted. It was okay though. I'm gonna come back tomorrow at 4. Yeah.
Thank you for watching, besties.
Okay.
That's very
Like in my defense, it was like created 2 years ago. Like I was
That's very
younger.
cute, yeah. But I like it because like 你的运镜还有你的整个的那个就是视频的这个长度 length 都控制的非常好，对
谢谢。
对。然后那个 OK， 有人问 how often do you update your content？
A good amount would probably be like at least once a week. I just don't do it anymore for college apps, but yeah, I should probably do more.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking about after you finish your application, like AFI or YEFA actually should hire you. like officially hire you to do our,小红书 and just make a bigger impact. OK， 做视频会耽误学习嘛？
我觉得这是一个 like 兴趣爱好，like some people like to play video games, some people like to do sports. Like for me, I like to make videos.
然后还有个家长问的问题，我觉得可能很多现在的家长或者是同学都很关心哈。Does this help your college application?
I don't know. Like I haven't I don't know my results yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, 从我的经验来说哈，如果你能做到累积到一定的粉丝的话，是会有非常大的帮助的。因为其实现在我们说就是大家都是 visual animal，所以招生官的话，他们也喜欢看到更多的 visual 的东西。因为包括像很多的学校，他们现在像布朗，他都会要求你提交 self introduction video。所以如果你的 video 做的不错的话，其实是占很大的先机的。对，当然这个的话，我觉得不需要每个，就是因为 Amber 她可能就是我觉得你有这个天生的这种我们说社交媒体的圣体哈，就叫做就是你适合去做这个社交媒体，但是可能有些学生和高中生他不一定那么的适合做社交媒体，所以我觉得找到自己的长处，这个是比较重要的。但是 in general， 我觉得这个是肯定能帮助到升学的。然后 OK，which school is your dream school? What career you are going to choose? The dream school because Amber is applying this year， 所以我们就暂时先不透露了。对，因为他是12年级的学生。对
Dream school depends on which school I get in. Like
Good.
if I get in, it'll be my dream school. And then an ideal career for me is like the Jellycat performer. Like if you guys have seen the videos of like being like working at Jellycat.
你的 what career are you going to choose?
Yeah, like a Jellycat performer.
Jellycat performer. OK.
Like if you
like
have seen
that,
those
yeah.
videos about like working at Jellycat.
OK. And I mean, yeah,
That
that's
would
my
be my
one of
ideal
my
one.
dream. That's one of my dream jobs as well. Like, job will be zookeeper. That's my dream job.
Zookeeper.
Zookeeper.
wow.
Yeah. So just hang out with animals. Yeah, make me super happy. What added software do you use?
I use 剪映 or in English, I think it's CapCut.
Oh, okay. 所以还
Yeah,
是
and it's also free, so that's really good. Like you don't need to have really like advanced stuff.
对，所以其实可能是更多的是前期的拍素材的时候把素材给选择好，对吧？所以就是说，然后其实剪辑的这一块的话，不需要用特别 fancy 的 professional 的这个 software。好的 ，OK，那我们今天好像正好我看一下哈，1个小时左右结束，然后呢，大家问题还是挺多的哈，然后也特别感谢 Amber 就是带来的这个一个高中生，然后我刚刚也在我的朋友圈发了，我说居然就是说第一个YEFA卧虎藏龙，第二个高中生人家都签了 agency 了，真的是这个业务能力已经超过了我们很多的这个本人了。对，所以的话呢，当然我也是预祝 Amber 的这一个 college application 能非常的顺利，然后呢，希望你能遇到你的梦校。然后呢，此外的话呢，大家可以扫这个微信的二维码进到我们的YEFA的群里面。因为YEFA的话，它是个华二代运行的一个组织，像 Amber 的话，她去年也是YEFA的这个 Head of Finance Department， 所以你可以知道，就是说进了这一个组织的话呢，你可以和很多优秀的华二代的这样的一个学生，你的孩子可以和这样的一个学生在一起成长。所以呢，我们也希望能提供更多的这种自我成长的机会给到我们的华二代的学生。好的，那今天我们就先这样。也欢迎大家可以去 follow 这个 Amber Lulu 的小红书哈。对，
Thank you
然
guys
后
so much.
对，希望你们能去给他宣传一下，然后涨粉。然后呢，这一个是二维码我会在屏幕上面再放一下。大家如果你扫不了码的话哈，你可以加我的微信，我把你拉进去。我们发一下哈，在这里。你可以加下我，然后我会把你拉到这个群里面。回放的话呢，我们一般是隔1周，下周我们的这个志愿者会把它放出来。好的，那再次感谢 Amber。 那我们就先拜拜了。
谢谢大家，谢谢大家。
好的
Sorry，我讲的有点疙疙瘩瘩的，谢谢，谢谢。
好的，谢谢，谢谢。然后我再放一把。